Hi, well, Luke had asked me what are the human rights, because I pointed out that before that problem that I have with market anarchism and objectivism and certain kinds of strains of libertarianism uh, is that you cannot base human rights uh, on property rights. It's got to be the other way around. Property rights come from human rights. And this is really a big part of how I approach philosophy. I'm very careful what you get first. What is based in something else. In my epistemology, it's like, yeah, I believe there's a real world, a material world. We learn about the material world through perceptions. So an epistemology about perceptions is primary. And then our theory about the material world is secondary to this theory of perceptions. It has to cohere with the theory of perceptions that we have because it's based on that. With property rights, they can't be fundamental because humans are not property. We cannot be slaves. We are not slaves to ourselves. We are not our own property. We're human, living human beings. We are not property. Therefore, you can't base your theory on the idea that we are property because you've already made a mistake. Human beings cannot be property. So it does raise the question, well, what are these human rights? Well, the Bill of Rights does pretty well. There's, the right to free speech and a whole list of rights there. But it's not really the abstraction. Philosophically, what are we getting at? What is the basic human right? And humans basically have a right to be free. And the problem with that, of course, is that we impinge on each other's total unfettered freedoms all the time. And, we expect these conflicts. I'm not free to drink, any soda I see. Some of them belong to other people that are drinking them. And so is that a violation of human rights? No. There's a problem in the concept of free, which is the problem of the absolutes, that something has to be absolute. Of course, you cannot be absolutely free. Things have to be relatively free. So I'm really interested, what do you think are human rights? I believe the right to travel, I believe I should have a right to be able to get from the East Coast to the West Coast. Even if that right is only guaranteed on foot, nobody's guaranteeing me a vehicle, I should have the right of passage, okay? Yes, you should have the right to free speech. I believe that there's no right to universal medical care, but that it's a good idea because having a strong national infrastructure supports people's basic freedoms, which is a human right. And so by having a strong infrastructure, we help people be free. And so we're building a strong infrastructure because we believe in human rights. We want to maximize human rights. And that's how I see it. But I'm interested to know what you guys would list as human rights. What is a human right? It's a good question.